Hi, my name is Blue, and I'll be going over kind of a behind-the-scenes look of how I made my kinetic typography lyric video for AJR's song, The DJ is Crying for Help. So, After Effects is a fairly complex program. If I had to break it down to its simplest, it's got two main things. You have layers and you have keyframes. So the way a layer works is you can have, let's say, your backgrounds. You have a black background, and then you add text, right? And so your text is on top of that black layer, which is why you can see it. If your text was underneath that layer and the black is on top, text disappears. A keyframe kind of tells the program where you want something or how you want it to look at any particular moment. So any animations, any changes in color, size, position, rotation, transparency, all of those is based off of keyframes. So let's jump into it and take a look at the video. So the way Splatter is done, there's a few different things that went into this. The Splatter part here is actually just a free video on YouTube. And so it's a green screen. It works the same as the green screens in movies, where you can replace whatever is green with something else. And a masking effect is used to reveal that text. So that's all based on your layers, again, of how that's done so that it actually is revealing the text. I learned actually several new things while making this video. I am completely self-taught for these. I've learned via YouTube, reading tutorials, and then good old trial and error. When I do use a tutorial, I'm always careful to make some pretty significant changes to it to make it my own. And then by also making those changes, it helps me remember it for the future. So the way this is done, this is a great example of how important layers are. On one layer, I've got my notes that appear. Okay, and I've made them colored, and I went through a lot of effort to try to time it to the music. The other layer is your actual text. Okay, again, this is all, if we open this up, all just little dots, little keyframes that determine how those move in. Those red lines are showing the path. But then this was a special effect that I learned that turned that into smoke. So when you go ahead and you look at the layers, you have your notes. On top of that, you have that text that turns into smoke. And so that's how it looks like the notes have appeared. It's because it's underneath your main text. So when it came time for the whole violin breakdown, I, honest to God, had no idea how I was going to handle that. So what I ended up doing is, this is a stock video. I outlined all of this violin, all of this whole part, cut out this background so that we would only be focused in on the violin. So that outline, obviously this violin moves, that outline is going to keep on needing to be adjusted and shifted. I do these videos in 60 frames per second. So what that means is that it's almost like there's 60 individual pictures per second that go into this. So I added some special effects to it because it was so much fun to outline those. That probably took 3 or 4 hours to get about 3 seconds worth of footage. It's looped because I don't have all the patience and time in the world. And I timed it to the music so that it pulses with the music. So this is an audio spectrum effect. So I use this sparingly in my videos, if I use it at all. And the way that this is actually done, the way that it's moving, it really is pulling that from the actual wavelengths of the music itself. It's not just randomly generated, it is coming from the music. For those of you who are familiar with AJR's Click Tour, you know, they had kind of a light board, I guess you could say, behind them. And this is modeled after that. So this text, I didn't want to have it where the text is staying in the box, but this goes so fast that if I did not leave it in the box, you weren't going to be able to keep up with it, because it does go pretty quickly. This is another scene where it took me 3 hours to get what's literally a 3-second clip. And you can see there's so much that went into this. So you've got the original video, again, off of YouTube, green screen video. And there's two things to note with this. He's holding the phone at an angle, and the phone moves a little bit. So that means that I couldn't just take a picture or a video of a job website and just kind of paste it on top of there, because it is at an angle and the phone moves. And what I actually did to film this to make it match up was I actually, because that's a screen recording from my phone, I actually watched this YouTube video and moved my thumb whenever he did so that that animation would line up. Then what I had to do was go in and match up. So you see all of these dots here, how there's 4 dots, it's for each corner. So I had to go in and kind of place that video frame by frame in the corner. I will definitely admit I got from a tutorial. This is so far over my head, I would never have been able to figure out how to do this on my own. And I'll replay this once it stops going super slow. But I had the idea of wanting to show a speaker and wanting to show like the sound waves kind of making that speaker bump. And there was no real tutorial I could find on that. So I went searching and I found somebody that at least had a tutorial on this ripple effect. And then I took it, made it mine, changed the angle, changed the fonts, obviously the words, the colors, and everything. So I had been stuck on this section for the longest, and then I just kind of saw this in my head of this text kind of coming forward like in a tunnel. I had seen some videos out there of how to make a tunnel. Again, just customized it, made it my own, figured out how to do that effect of the text coming forward. And that's where you get that scene. Just some special effects thrown in. The program has a lot of effects that come with it. Over here, effects and presets. These are all drop downs. So they literally have hundreds and hundreds of different effects and everything that you can use. More than I know what to do with. I don't use plugins. I don't use templates. I've never used templates. I'm very big on being original and authentic. So again, paint splatters, green screens, masking effects, layering, order, all of that went into this. So to look at the whole totality of it, all of these lines, and you can see all of the keyframes. So all of these little lines, all of these little dots, that is what made up this video. If you have watched even so much as a part of this, I thank you. If you have any questions, drop them down below in the comments and I will do my best to answer them.